An unexpected delivery. I rarely expect anything other than junk mail these days. Email and social media have all but replaced paper envelopes. But on this particular evening, I found a single old-looking letter amidst the usual flyers in my mailbox. The envelope was brittle and yellowed, the postmark barely legible. To my surprise, the date read 1979. More unsettling was the fact that the letter was addressed to me, at my current address, even though I wasn't even born in 1979. The return name was Alexander Evans, the same name as my grandfather, who disappeared decades ago. My family had always been tight-lipped about him, so I knew little beyond whispers that something tragic happened. Feeling a chill crawl up my spine, I stepped inside my house. My curiosity got the best of me, and I carefully opened a fragile envelope to reveal a single sheet of old paper. It read, "My dear descendant, if you are reading this, then fate has ensured that the letter reached you. Our family has long borne a terrible secret that I tried and failed to defeat. Beware the old house on Elm Street. It's been abandoned for years, but it remains dangerous. Inside, you will find the key to our salvation. I beg you, do not allow the past to awaken the evil that consumed me. If you must go, do it alone. Remember, I did all I could to lock away this curse." At the bottom, written in a strong, slanted handwriting, was the signature, Alexander Evans. It matched what I'd seen years before on one of my grandmother's photo albums. Suddenly, I felt cold all over. What was this evil Grandpa had warned about? And what might be lurking in that old house on Elm Street? Everybody in town knew about that place. The ramshackle old building that people said was haunted. I must have driven by it dozens of times, but had never wondered who once lived there. Digging into family history. The next morning, I called my mom, hoping she would shed some light on Grandpa's disappearance. She sounded uneasy the moment I mentioned him. Finally, she said, "Your grandfather left one night, went to that house on Elm Street. He never came back. The police found nothing, and we never discovered why he went there in the first place. Some folks thought he just left town. Others spoke of strange things in that house. Frankly, I don't want to think about it anymore." I could tell from her tone that she'd rather I dropped the subject. But after reading that letter, I couldn't just let it go. Something was calling me to that place, and I felt it was no coincidence that the letter had arrived now, addressed to me. A visit in the night. By dusk, I'd gathered enough nerve, or sheer recklessness, to drive to Elm Street, located in the older part of the city. The street was dimly lit by a few flickering streetlights. I parked near a sagging chain-link fence. At the end of a cracked sidewalk stood the house, its windows dark and boarded up, the front porch sagging under years of neglect. To my surprise, the front door was slightly ajar. I switched on the flashlight on my phone and carefully stepped inside. A foul stench of mold and stale air hit me immediately. I couldn't stop replaying the lines of Grandpa's letter in my mind. Do not allow the past to awaken the evil. Echoes of the past. I walked gingerly down a narrow hallway. Each step made the warped floorboards groan. Then I started hearing soft creaks overhead, like footsteps. My pulse hammered in my ears. Could someone else be here? Catching a glimpse of movement from the corner of my eye, I froze. When I aimed my flashlight that way, there was nothing but dust dancing in the beam. For a moment, I wondered if it was just my imagination, or something else entirely. One of the rooms to the left had a broken door hanging off its hinges, revealing scattered books and papers strewn across the floor. Kneeling down, I picked up a brittle piece of paper. It looked like a document from the late 70s, mentioning the Evans family's property on Elm Street and some tragedy that occurred there. Scribbled at the bottom in pencil was an ominous note. "Don't linger here too long. I can hear her crying." Her crying? My throat went dry. Suddenly, My phone's flashlight flickered. In the dim glow, I thought I saw a vague shape gliding down the hall, pale and quick. A chill shot through me like electricity. "Hello," I called out. No answer. The wind moaned through a broken window pane. Chapter 5. The Discovered Diary. At the end of the hallway, I found a small side room with no windows, a glorified storage closet filled with old junk. An overturned trunk lay in the corner, and beside it was a worn leather-bound notebook. I realized it was a diary, and flipping through, I recognized my grandfather's handwriting. I brought her here, thinking I could trap the curse. I prayed that if I sealed it behind these walls, it would remain contained with me. But I can still hear her wailing at night. I can feel her rage. I have to find a key to lock away the entrance forever. He had also drawn a rough sketch of a strange symbol ringed by runes. Next to it, he wrote, "Run if you can. Don't let her get out." Tucked between the pages was a tiny photograph. Grandpa, looking much younger and visibly tense, stood next to a thick, heavy door set in the basement. The same symbol from his notes was painted on the door. If that door still existed here, I had to see it for myself. Descending to the basement, determined to see this through, I went deeper into the house until I found a rickety wooden staircase that led down into the basement. I grabbed the railing gingerly. It felt like it might snap with each step. The air below was musty and damp. My phone's flashlight revealed rough concrete walls, broken glass on the floor, and old newspapers turned to mush. In the far corner stood a door reinforced with metal strips. That same eerie symbol from Grandpa's diary was carved into the surface. My heart pounded as I approached. A large, rusty key protruded from the lock. The diary's words echoed in my head. "Don't let her out." Awakening the evil, the second I touched the key, a surge of adrenaline shot up my arm. Behind me, I heard the basement door slam shut, throwing me into nearly complete darkness as my phone's light sputtered. Then came a whisper, floating through the silence. "Give me the key." A thunderous pounding began on the other side of the door, as though something or someone was desperate to break free. My breath caught in my throat. I recalled Grandpa's final plea. He had sealed this evil and paid the price. I hesitated. Removing the key might open the door, or perhaps it was the only thing keeping it sealed. Meanwhile, the pounding was growing more violent, and the whisper rose to an eerie wail. Suddenly, my flashlight revealed a dark stain spreading across the floor, inching toward me like a living shadow. Panic seized me, and I yanked the key free to defend myself. Instantly, the door rattled with incredible force, and a deep rumble shuddered through the basement. The door scraped open a crack, and foul, icy air rushed out, swirling like a wet fog. Beyond that crack, I glimpsed the pale outline of a figure, a woman's face with empty eyes and parted lips emitting a terrible moan. She glided forward, impossibly fast. I stumbled back, clutching the key. Then, just as she was about to reach me, the battered lock snapped back into place with a metallic clang. For a heartbeat, the figure shrieked and lunged, but something, a final remnant of Grandpa's seal, threw her back. A heavy beam collapsed from the ceiling, slamming into the door, sealing it shut once again. Dust and debris filled the air. Gasping and coughing, I realized that, almost subconsciously, I had returned the key to the latch. The door was barricaded, and whatever lurked behind it was once again contained. An uncertain resolution. Shaken to my core, I scrambled over the wreckage and back upstairs into the hallway. At some point, adrenaline must have overridden my fear, because I found myself outside within seconds, the cool night air hitting my face like a shock. When I glanced back, I could have sworn I saw a pale figure standing at one of the upstairs windows, watching me leave. Whether that was real or just my mind playing tricks, I'm not sure. The next day, I told my mom only that I couldn't find any trace of Grandpa. It seemed pointless to upset her further with such a monstrous tale, one she'd likely never believe. I tucked the letter away. I can't shake the sense that the evil in that house isn't vanquished, merely contained. A week later, I noticed something strange on that ancient envelope. There was a fresh postmark, this time with the current date, as though the letter was preparing to send itself on once more. I can't help but feel the curse is still active, searching for another soul to lure into that house. I plan to keep the letter locked away for good, but deep down, I'm not sure it'll stay hidden forever.